Um, Nancy Pelosi, I'm curious about what her views on immigration are, because she recently came out and called Hugo Chavez, the president of Venezuela, just an everyday thug. And I'm like, well, and your response when we talked about this was
how insulting to her constituents, half of which live in the Mission. I mean, we're a city of immigrants, and we're also there's a huge Latin American community. I mean, the solidarity work for Latin America comes out of San Francisco. We gave birth to a solidarity movement in the 80s where we stood behind the people of El Salvador, Nicaragua, Chile, et cetera, et cetera. And Hugo Chavez represents those people, as does Fidel Castro. I mean, we might not like the way they run their countries, but their people love them, and they are binding together to make a movement in Latin America. And for Nancy Pelosi to fly in the face of that and call Hugo Chavez a thug represents her lack of sophistication, not only about international politics, but also about who we are in San Francisco.
Well, I thought it was also interesting because there was a coup against Hugo Chavez a few years ago, and that was backed by the Bush administration.
Yes, yes.
So who's a thug? Yeah. Who is a thug?
Who is a thug? I mean, who is a thug? I mean, we could get into, characterizing the Bush regime in all kinds of terms and all their sort of, quote, running dog lackeys that, go along with their agenda all the time. But I think what we really would like to do at this point is kind of chart how we're thinking in San Francisco. Like, I really think that the values that we hold need to become the values that people are working with in Washington. And instead of us being the locos, the crazy people out in the West Coast, it's like the way we think needs to be the center politic, or we don't have a future. And I know that there's many other people who think like me, people with children, older people who have seen history go on, people who are tracking the environment. Like, we're up against some stuff we really need to get serious about. And so it's time that we take all of these views that we've worked so hard on. Really, Sue, like over the years, we've led the way around AIDS funding and how people think about gay people. The Black Panther Party came out of the Bay Area. The Longshoremen came out of the Bay Area. The hippies, the 60s music, the SDS, all of these movements are birthed out of Northern California. These are the politics of the future. It's not going to come out of Ohio. It's not going to come out of Florida. It's not going to come out of Washington, D.C. And that's been proven over and over and over again.
I think that's why you and I ended up here with so many other people. It's
yes.
Like we came to the place. Yes,
yeah.
yes, we did.
Yeah.
So tell me, you have a daughter.
I do.
She's